Hey YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Sax and welcome to my series Calling Response. Most commonly found in gospel music, calling response is when one musician sings a phrase of a song and then another musician responds with a similar phrase right afterwards. The purpose of the calling response is to create an echo and the outcome of the effects resemble such. In this series, I will be using calling response as a video response segment to respond to various YouTubers whose videos I either agree with or disagree with and respond to their call with my own response or rebuttal of sorts. What's up YouTube? I'm here with you guys in another video, and obviously as you can see my video segment call and response. This segment, I'm going to be responding to two videos, but first things first, I'm going to respond to the first YouTuber first. The lovely video game her. She made a video, I believe she put it out last night, but I just happened to see it this morning on the way to work checking my YouTube feed about Nintendo having an identity crisis. In that video, which I'll link below, she basically was talking about Nintendo's advertising with the Wii U. Besides it being non-existent, their advertising is doing now is leaning more towards the casuals. Although Nintendo stated that it would be going more towards the hardcore gamers with the Wii U. And I'm using both those terms, casual and hardcore, loosely. She felt like she was confused about the advertising, especially in some of the commercials, because the scenery, Tom Brady being in the man cave, contradicted to what they were doing. Like, come on, what's two dudes in a man cave going to do playing a party game? That's sus. Which I understand her on that. And she's overall feeling like, okay, well, they're not advertising it as this hardcore machine. They're not advertising it at all, but when they're doing it, they're not advertising it as the hardcore machine that they said it was going to be, and they're trying to advertise it as this casual machine, but they're kind of doing it in a weird way. So what is Nintendo doing? They're even confusing me as a Nintendo fan. I understand her frustrations. However, I think there's a method to the madness. Well, a method to what they're doing right now. Besides the fact that Nintendo sucks at advertising, but we knew this already. Nintendo has always been pretty bad at advertising over the past few years. Besides the fact that they're bad with advertising, I feel like Nintendo is trying to do what all gaming companies do when marketing the system. Market the system on both sides. Come on, we see Sony and Microsoft do it all the time. They market their casual games, and they market the system as a casual system, family friendly, oriented towards little children. We saw it with like Connectimals and Dance Central, and what's on a Wonder Book for the Sony side. I guess even NAC to an extent with the PS4. They have their moments where they advertise it as a family system. Then they have their advertisements where they turn on their Call of Duty visors and Uncharted, Last of Us, and Halos, and next thing you know is a hardcore machine. I feel like Nintendo was trying to join that in a way, but being that they're bad at advertising and that Nintendo marketed the Wii for its whole lifetime as a casual machine, it basically looked like, oh, they're doing the Wii all over again, being a casual system, even though they said otherwise. But let's look at the games they have coming up for their fall and winter 2013 lineup, or holiday season lineup. The most popular games that are going to be by far Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Mario Kart 8, I believe that's coming out in the holidays, Mario Kart 8, Super Mario 3D World, and Wii Fit U, and that Wii Sports joint. They're all basically family-oriented games, even though Mario Kart can be kind of hardcore. But for the most part, family-oriented games. So with the little advertising they do, it would make sense for them to advertise the Wii U right now as a machine that appeals to the family people. This is just one side of the fence or one side of the coin, just like Sony or Microsoft does it. Of course, with the games coming out in 2014, we have Smash Bros. U, X, what else come? Bayonetta 2. Those games will be, advertising the hardcore side of the Wii U, just like Sony and Microsoft use their key franchises like Halo and Uncharted to the and capture their core gamers. Nintendo will be using that with titles such as Smash Bros. U Bayonetta 2 and X. When we finally get the actual name of what it's going to be, Xeno, whatever. But anyway, I think Nintendo will ramp up hardcore advertising. And I feel like that's going to be the other side of the coin with the Wii U. Nintendo is really just catching up to the advertising field, kind of, sort of, because it's still not really advertising the system, but, you know, it's catching up to the strategies of how to advertise with the casual things sometimes, hardcore things sometimes. But we just haven't really seen much of the hardcore part because of the fact that there hasn't been many hardcore games out. Well, and the ones that were hardcore, Nintendo didn't advertise. So I feel like all in all, the two sides of Nintendo that they're trying to capture, I think they'll come out eventually. Nintendo just got to get the advertising up, period, and you won't be confused because it's just how consoles roll. No one was confused when Sony was like, this is a hardcore gamer machine, and then they showed knack. Nobody was confused about it. Nobody was confused when Microsoft said Xbox was for the core gamer, and they spent an hour presentation really just talking about the features of the Xbox One and the DVR and all that good stuff, and spent only like 10 minutes on games. Nobody was confused because they still knew it was going to be, you know, that console that does it all. And I think people need to get on that with Nintendo too. But I understand why it's hard. That last system was casually advertised, the whole thing. This new system isn't even being advertised, period. Hardly. And Nintendo's track record, I can see why people can be confused, but I don't think they should let themselves stay confused. I also want to briefly touch on Active Gamer Life's video that he did release. Nintendo, I love you but grew up, where he basically talked about how Nintendo is trying to be everyone's parent, and instead of being, you know, the game company they are. And he also talked about his We Have a Voice campaign, which I think I'm going to join in as well. He basically, you know, we're just talking about how Nintendo is gimping the features of their consoles to protect, you know, their younger gamers, you know, newer gamers, but at the same time they're isolating their fan base. Like, you have parental controls in your console, so why are you doing stuff like taking out swap note? Why don't we have voice chat? Why don't we have you know, a full-on party chat or whatever? Or why are you so restrictive on Miiverse? And I agree with him completely all the way on that as well. It is almost a bother. It's almost annoying when you see, well, they're gonna play this X game anyway, and someone's gonna call them a penis. So why is the feature in the game? You might as well just not include the feature in the game at all. Really, being in the world we live in, children are going to get exposed to these things. You can't stop them from getting exposed to these things. That's what you have the parental controls for, however. I did like, what I really wanted to talk to you about is We Have a Voice campaign. I really liked his idea of not going out and not supporting by not buying the game, but by going out and communicating with Nintendo through Miiverse, the Club Nintendo thing, Twitter, and all that stuff, because Nintendo does listen to people, especially via Miiverse. We've seen it. I feel like this We Have a Voice campaign, if we speak out, it will work, and I think it was a pretty interesting and unique campaign. I think a lot of YouTubers should get on it, not even just YouTube, but gamers, if they want to see Nintendo not gimp themselves, because even though Nintendo is Japanese, they have to step into not just Western, but the 21st century gamer expectations. I'm not going to talk too much on that because it's already a long video, so I'm going to end it here. Tell me what you guys think about, you know, these situations, and I think you guys should join the We Have a Voice campaign as well. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and your boy Sax is out. Peace.